What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a hump day edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. A listener gave this mug to me. I don't know if you can see it. Actually, on the inside, it says Hump Day. Can y'all see that? It says Hump Day there in the middle. Somebody showed up to Whiskey and Wine this year. I don't know who it is. But somebody showed up to Whiskey and Wine this year and I was getting set for the show and everything, and the person just like dropped that off. Yeah. Excuse me. Anyway, I have a hump day mug. 2 more work days this week for yours truly. We'll have Friday, Christmas Eve off for AFR. Of course, we'll be here for Morning Scone. We do Morning Scone every day regardless. So, but do show today and tomorrow, and then be off Friday, and then all of next week. Timing's pretty good. If you didn't see my social media post yesterday, got a pretty bad car accident yesterday. Was on the Mississippi River Bridge coming back from Port Allen. There was traffic because, of course, there's traffic. So putting along, and I came to a stop, was in the right lane. I mean, I was 100 yards from the Dalrymple. From the Highland Nicholson exit. I'm 100, I'm right there. And this guy just smashed the back of me. His truck was... his truck's totaled. I mean, the front was just smushed. His hood TP'd almost like over the top of the car. He's my V-dub did just fine. Don't get me wrong. There's damage. They'll have to replace the whole back of the car, but nothing like what mine was drivable. I mean, the back didn't even push into the tire all the way. So I was able to drive my car. What a nuisance, man. He actually hit me into the car in front of me. So it was a double whammy. And we get out of the car, and he's like, man, you look familiar. I was like, yeah, I'm Matt Moscone. He goes, oh, man, I hit Matt Moscone. That was a pretty funny part. Nice guy. He was a nice guy. He was all disappointed. But anyway, so I have to deal with that nuisance now. So anyway, LSU basketball tonight against Lipscomb. Let's say some hellos. Warren Beasley, good morning. Ricky Lambert, good morning. William Martin, good morning. Alex Roboleski, good morning. Important question, Atlas or Atlas Cross Sport? Yeah, good question, Alex. I drive the Atlas, and I don't know if it would have been any different with the Cross Sport. So the Cross Sport doesn't have the third row, and it's a little shorter, sleeker back design, which honestly, Eric and I were both thinking about switching from the Atlas to the Cross Sport because we really don't need the third row. We haven't needed it. So, but I love the car. And obviously, I'll tell y'all, that is a great indication of why I love driving a Volkswagen. I tell y'all, like, it's one of the safest vehicles on the road. They've got 9 models that get the highest safety designation. Like, that's why. That dude walloped me. I mean, I was stopped. He never stopped. What the heck? Anyway. I never shared the Twitter post. Sorry. Shared the YouTube on Twitter, my bad. But, I mean, V-Dub, man.
What's the future of cooking?
Sous vide.
The CD.
So, I always get people who are like, will send me stories or testimonials, this or that, about how they put their kid drives a Volkswagen and, you know, they got in a wreck and walked away from it. I mean, you know, I'm telling you, man, Drew will probably never drive. Most certainly will never drive. But if I did have a child that was driving, they would drive Volkswagen. It's affordable and it's a great car and it's safe and all that stuff. Let's see. Stephen Smith, good morning. Did you got in a wreck? Yes, I did. I was hit from behind on the bridge. Lee Allen, good morning. Hope you're feeling better. Well, I mean, I ain't out here trying to more smart nobody, y'all, but like, y'all know I got a screwed up back, and that didn't help. And the dude would suck so bad about it. Ugh. Is Monday. I went and saw Crystal Poche Restored Motions, and like, I was feeling so good. Like, I even went and did yoga yesterday morning. I was feeling, I went Sunday for yoga, Monday to see Crystal, Tuesday to yoga in the morning, and then yesterday afternoon that happens. Brutal, man, brutal. Kyle DeVille, what's up? Lee Allen, love the shirt. Yeah, man, it says right. It is a great logo, isn't it? I love it. Darren Perrette, what's going on? Dakota Lang, Kirk Taylor, Megan Hurst, Brian Wynn, Jonathan Martin, Brandon Brazel, more from Memphis. Hey, Mark, good morning. Look at the Pellies winning 3 in a row. Hey, Dad, good morning. I need to pack the PMAC tonight in Baton Rouge. Lipscomb is good. No, Mark, Lipscomb is not good. In the past, Lipscomb has been good. This Lipscomb team is not good. They are 6-7 on the season. The LSU is a 27-point favorite in the ballgame. Of Lipscomb's 6 wins, 2 of the 6 have come against non-Division I opponents. Texas Wesleyan and Kentucky Christian. And they also beat South Carolina State, which is out of the MEAC. They've lost 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they beat Texas Wesleyan before. They lost 5 in a row. And they're not just losing. Like, they lost by 37 to Florida State. They lost by 17 to Miami. They lost by 21 to Chattanooga. They lost by 29 to Belmont. They lost by 11 at Tennessee Tech. Like, this isn't a good basketball team. Like, LSU should just wallop Lipscomb tonight. So, and they'll move to 12-0 and be perfect heading into conference play, and then we'll learn all we need to know about this LSU team. Jason Horn, Brent Garofolo, Billy Wall, good morning. Mark, is LSU basketball Final Four contender? Of course they are. I made that prediction in June. Deborah Coward, good morning. Thank you. Hello, Mark. Going back to the Taysom Hill well, don't care if he can't throw. He's a leader who can run over a 250-pound linebacker. Mark, that's the most absurd thing in the world. So by that logic, then Derrick Henry should be the quarterback for the Tennessee Titans, right? Come on, bro. Taysom Hill stinks. Great guy, good runner of the ball. As a quarterback, he stinks. Like, is terrible, putrid. He'll never be a quarterback, ever. Like, this is it for him. This is it. Like, play out the string, it's over. Aaron Guidry, Gary Petrie, good morning. Brian Wynn, thank you, Brian, but I'm good, man. I'm okay on the attorney side. I'm good. Kelly Gross, good morning. Kelly Presley, how's your back, Ray? Well, I mean, I'm moving, which is good. It just sucks. Like, y'all know I have chronic neck and back pain. I was feeling good. Now I'm just like right back in it. Sucks. Julio Mendez, good morning. Jonathan Martin, for me, the highlight of my year was the trip to California, getting to see AFR live, getting entertained by Russ Mitchell at the same time. That's awesome, Jonathan. You know what? We really did start at the peak of the season, didn't we? Started at the high, and after that, it was all downhill after. Like once the game started. Stephen Bond, good morning. Trivia Carter, Rapid Batches, Jesse Brown, Gabriel St. Brown. Today's my 21st birthday. There you go, Gabriel. Happy birthday, man. Hope it's a great one. Be responsible today. Not after today, you don't have to worry about it, but today, be responsible. Joey Vincent, good morning. Cody Burns. Saw something similar on I-95. Not fun. Rapid Batches, dude, I hate that bridge. My son lives in Port Allen with his mom. Every time we go pick him up, it's a nightmare. The bridge is cursed. It's a terror. Well, the problem, Rapid Batches, is for the amount of traffic that it sees every day, it's too narrow. Like the infrastructure in this city just sucks. It just does. You can love Baton Rouge and acknowledge that fact. It's why there's always traffic. It's why you could be driving down Airline Highway at 11:30 a.m. on a Tuesday and it's bumper to bumper because the infrastructure in the city sucks. It can't handle the volume of traffic that comes through in a given day in the main arteries, and there aren't outlets, and it just sucks. It's a terrible city as far as infrastructure. And the bridge is a huge part of that. Like, it's the only way to cross the river. I mean, you could go to the Huey P, but that bridge, it's the only spot in the country where I-10 goes down to one lane is the exit on that bridge. It's awful. It's just an awfully designed vessel. Jesse Brown, Matt, what's the sack record of NOLA? How many more does Cam need to break the record? It's Ricky Jackson. Remember, Ricky Jackson played for the Niners at the end of his career. Ricky had 115 in a Saints uniform, 136 in his career. So 115 is the Saints sack record. So Cam's at 100 and a half, right? So he needs 14 and a half to tie 15 to pass him. Kenneth Martin, morning, Matt. Sorry to hear about your accident. You need a good attorney. Well, I've got two great options. My dad's an attorney, number one. And, of course, I endorse MGM. So, should I need something on the injury side, which hopefully I don't, hopefully this all can be rectified civilly and his insurance just takes care of it and we go about our lives. Trivia first, are you okay? Second, would it be weird if he asked for a pic with you? No, it wouldn't be weird. We actually got along just fine. He was a nice guy. He was very apologetic. He was disappointed, obviously, and upset with himself and all that sort of stuff. But the funniest part is, like, as soon as he found out who I was, like, immediately he goes, "Man, I listen to you every day." He goes, "Man, you really got them ancient athletes last week." I like immediately went to the ancient athletes thing. For those that missed it on Friday with Terrio, somehow we got talking about ancient athletes and how they always get hurt. Was he distracted watching Morning Scone? I don't think so. This was at noon, maybe, around there. Joey Vincent, I've been hit from behind like that, sitting at red lights 2 times in the last 17 years. I still get paranoid when I'm at a red light or stop sign when a car is pulling behind me. That's the first time I've ever been in a wreck. Well, let me rephrase that. I've never hit anybody. That's the second time I've been hit. The first time was 04, 05 in there. I was working at Citadel, which was on Wooddale, for those who know Baton Rouge, Wooddale off of Florida Boulevard. And I lived on Longwood, which is right off of Capitol Heights, between Capitol Heights and Claycut. And so I was coming basically Lobdell to, or right there by Independence Park. I don't know if it's Lobdell right there, if it's East Airport, whatever it's called. But it's where it crosses at Lobdell. It crosses to Government Street, that giant, where the roundabout is now, and there's a fire station. So I'm crossing where the roundabout is now to Government Street, with Independence Park behind me. And the guy's is coming the other way from Government, making a left to go toward Florida Boulevard. Well, it's green, so I have the green. He had to yield on green. He didn't yield, and he hit me driver's side. And it was raining on a Friday night. Thank God it was Friday night at 7 o'clock and nobody was out. But it was raining. He spun me like 360, like ended up looking at oncoming traffic. But thankfully nobody was coming. And happened right in front of that fire station. And by the time I kind of got my wits about me and pulled off to the side, the fireman heard it and came out. And the guy was gone. Like, he just took off. Bleeper, bleeper. Anyway. Ronnie Juga, what's up? Rapping batches. Y'all come boot up with the PMAC with me tonight. Welcome home our undefeated Tigers. Curious to see what kind of crowd they get. Lipscomb's not any good. It is a holiday. Students are out, you know. Curious to see what type of crowd they get tonight. Michael McMichelson. Good morning. Random thought, but I actually think Butte is potentially better than Chase was and will translate better in the NFL. Imagine him now in that 2019 team. I think they're very comparable. I'd like to see them both in sort of a straight line speed race. I don't know if there's a huge disparity there. But Butte, remember Butte's in his sophomore year, which is really when Chase broke out too in 2019. Then Chase opted out of 2020. I think we forget how dominant Chase was just because of the small sample size, right? Because he was injured a lot of his freshman year. Let me see, Jamar Chase freshman year. Let's see. He's a freshman. Okay, played in 13 games as a freshman. Had 23 catches for 313. But then he played in 14 of the 15 games as a sophomore and had 84 catches for 1780. I mean, crazy. Joseph Armato, good morning. Greg Duga, Mark Hammond, good morning. Matt Cheney, Caleb Bernard, Nick Bradley Hole, Merry Christmas. What's up, Steve Colson? Hudco merch for stocking stuffers. Help. I got some Hudco hats, Steve. You know I can hook you up with that, bro. I got you. My guy. James Dennis McClain. Lipscomb missing their two best players. That's where they're struggling. No, I know. I'm aware. But they're terrible. Like, you're not supposed to lose a player and be terrible. I mean, I can understand drop-off, but they're terrible. I mean, I heard Will's press conference yesterday, and Will's supposed to say that, and that's all fine. Dennis Payne, good morning. Let's see, did I miss an update on bowl prep, coaching, etc.? Nope, Nick. Had a little break for finals. They're going through workouts now for the bowl game. We learned this week Blake Baker won't be back. No, that's about it. Still waiting here on Andre Carter, and then the coordinators with Pete's and Magus, who we know won't be back, or Pete's and Durante, who we know all won't be back, but waiting here for them. And then, but Andre Carter's the one we haven't really heard the update on. Ed Check, good morning. Do other teams pay for rental wins like in football? You mean sports? Yeah, I mean, like LSU pays Lipscomb to come in here. And you're going to have to get some of those games because a lot of that is travel, right? And part of the reason why you'll play teams in close proximity is the travel aspect. Teams will bus a lot of times instead of fly in basketball. So, they get paid to play the game, obviously, if you pay a non-conference team to come in and play. But it's not, the money isn't nearly as significant as what you're talking about in football, obviously. Michael Armato, maybe Brian Kelly can hire Urban as kicking game coordinator. Can't believe Urban Meyer ever went to Jacksonville. It's just crazy. Like, why would you ever do that? I mean, there's so many examples of why great college coach no longer has a recruiting advantage, doesn't translate to the NFL. Stop trying. Truax, what's good, man? Glenn Thomasy, impact of re-signing Miles Brennan is going to be significant for Brian Kelly and LSU. Do you agree? Well, in the immediate short term, Glenn, I do. I mean, I wouldn't want to go into next year with, only a redshirt freshman in Nussmeier and a true freshman in Walker Howard. And if it wasn't one of those two, I mean, they were going to add a transfer quarterback. Brian Kelly acknowledged it. I mean, or Miles Brennan acknowledged it in his conversations with Brian Kelly. So they were going to add a quarterback. If it was someone in the transfer portal or if it's your own fifth-year senior, I'd take the guy that's been around and, provided he stays healthy, I think Miles could do well. It gives you a buffer to next year. Excuse me. It gives you a buffer to 2023. Brandon Hoyt, good morning. Brian Arsenault, how's the neck feeling? Yeah. Been better. Brian Wynn, Matt, what type of crash you were involved in? Pain and soreness comes the day after. If you aren't hurting today, you should be okay for the most part. Charlie Cavell, what's up, man? Jonathan Martin needs the Hudco jingle. Okay, you're probably not going to get a lively, spirited Hudco dance out of me today, but here you go.
Hudco roofing, Hudco roofing. When you need a roof, call someone you know. Scone and Terrio.
All you need is Hudco.
Hudco roofing, Hudco roofing. Call Hudco roofing.
364.
1007. Roofing, Hudco roofing, Hudco roofing.
There you go. Todd Harris, good morning. Jerry DeLucky, good morning. Saints get zero help. That stinks. The Bears weren't able to do it against Minnesota. Even though the Bears almost doubled up Minnesota in total yardage, they still lose 17-9. And then Washington, which was up 10-0 early on Philly, loses there as well. So, yeah, the Saints beat Tampa, which is the most important part, right? I mean, the Saints have to keep winning. If they don't win, it doesn't matter. But Saints keep winning. Saints beat Tampa, but get no help from the Bears or the Washington football team. But there's plenty of opportunities. Look, I mean, with Washington and Philly, they all just play the NFC East. And the NFC East is not very good, but it's also realistic that they could each end up beating each other. If the Saints end up winning out, I think they'll be in the playoffs at 10-7. I don't think they can move up to the 6th seed, but I do think if they're 10-7, they'll be in the playoffs. Reagan Lee, he's going to be the first player to be at LSU for 7 years, right? I don't think so, Reagan. What's interesting is when Brennan was injured, I did that segment on AFR, how it could be possible. So this would be year 5, right? Every player got a COVID year, so he could take the COVID year. And if he wanted to apply for medical hardship, he could potentially get a 7th year. It doesn't seem likely that he's going to use either the COVID year or the medical hardship year. This is going to be it for Miles Brennan in 2023, then he'll be off to the NFL. But could he play 7 years? Theoretically. Now, I don't know if he could get an injury waiver approved. Typically, the injury would have to be something related to football, right? It would have had to been a football-related injury. But you could always file for an exception. You could file for a waiver, and who knows, man? Maybe they can get it. Brian Wynn, can the Saints contain 2 on Monday night? Absolutely they can contain 2 on Monday night. Miami has won 6 in a row. But they've done it largely on the backs of their defense, which makes me a little more leery about the Saints' opportunity defensively in the ball game, or offensively, excuse me. But, here you go. The Saints are averaging 22 a game. Miami's averaging 20. So it's bad. And the Saints are allowing 20. Miami's allowing 22. So as bad as the Saints offense has been, they're still better than Miami's. You know, Miami's so interesting, man, because they won their opener against New England, and then they lost 7 straight, and now have won 6 straight. It's a bizarre run. Now, look at the difference in who they lost to and who they beat, right? So the losses were Bills, at Raiders, Colts, at Bucks. They lost to Jacksonville. They lost to the Falcons, and then lost again at the Bills. So I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4 of their 7 losses were playoff teams. Now here's their wins: Texans, Ravens. Ravens are really decimated, but anyway. Jets, Panthers, Giants, Jets, right? So they haven't exactly beaten the who's who of the NFL, but winning in the NFL is hard, man. So to win 6 in a row in the NFL is mightily impressive. They're playing well, and their defense really is what's paced them. They allowed 9, 10, 17, 10, 9, and then they beat the Jets 31-24. So defense is what's been good. Sorry, y'all. Defense is what's been getting it done for Miami. But same thing said for the Saints. James Metvin, more Matt. Did Brian ever pick his DC and OC? Not formally, but the report from Football Scoop is that Mike Denbrock from University of Cincinnati will be the OC. And that Matt House, who's linebackers coach with Kansas City Chiefs, will be the DC. He has been a DC in college football prior at Kentucky before going to the Chiefs, and actually turned down Auburn and Tennessee last year to be their DC. Bailey C. Brady did his best Belichick impression by breaking his tablet. Rapid batches. I know you think Taysom Hill is hot garbage, but if he could learn to get rid of the ball on time, improve his accuracy, he could be a legit starter if he fixed those issues. Here's the problem. He's 31 years old. He's not 21 years old. He's 31 years old. There is no learning to get rid of the ball on time and improving your accuracy when you're 31 years old. It's not going to happen. He's what he is. Drew Brees spoiled you because you got to watch the most accurate quarterback in NFL history play for 15 years. It's not going to happen for Taysom. He's inaccurate on both short and deep passes. He doesn't make good decisions. His one superpower is his ability to run the ball. So let him be a runner of the football and stop trying to make him a quarterback, because he's never going to be that, ever. Stop trying. It's not going to happen. The quicker you realize it's never going to happen and move on from it, the better you'll be long term. All right. Michael McMichelson, diehard LSU fan, living down here 20 minutes from University of Florida. For my own sake, I hope the decision not to hire Napier and then let Florida take Raymond pay off. I haven't heard the end of it. Well, I haven't even played a game yet, Michael, so we'll see. I'll maintain that I do believe with Corey, with Jabbar Jalouk, with Billy Napier, Florida's going to get kids out of Louisiana. I mean, there's no doubt. With those three as embedded and ingrained as they are here, they will get kids out of Louisiana. That LSU wants. And so does Nick. And so does Jimbo at times. And so, yeah, I mean, it's just another one that you got to worry about poaching players. We'll see if they can win at the highest level. But they will get players. They will. Kyle Milliken, Matt, excited to see the Saints defense against Tua. 4 sacks, 2 picks. I would love that. Jacob Hibbert, Brody Miller, and the Cincy athletic reporter said Den Brock isn't a done deal. Wonder if it still goes down. We'll see. Boy, it'd be hard to justify staying in Cincinnati if LSU offers you, right? I mean, unless you love Cincinnati. Bubba Tatum, what's good? Jerry DeLucky, I hear Santa's elves on my roof. Oh, how about that? We got a little Hudco action going on at the DeLucky house this morning. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Actually, I want to thank everybody. We have in the last week or so, as I've really pushed that uptick in pushed web, we have seen an uptick in web traffic and web inquiries. I actually had a buddy I went to high school with at Catholic. He was a year behind me, but I knew him well. Messaged me yesterday. He's like, "Hey man, I didn't realize you were like a owner or co-owner partner in Hudco. We had another roofing company come out, and two different people came out and both gave us different opinions, and then we can't get anybody else to respond to us. Like they just won't come out and do the work or whatever. Like, can y'all help?" Like, absolutely. So got him in our system. Had one of our inspectors on his roof yesterday, like the same day he called. So we'll get to you, man. HudcoRoofing.com. If either other roofing companies or insurance have dragged their feet, give us a shout. Let us go to work for you. HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HudcoRoofing.com. Kyle DeVille, morning, Matt. Glad you're okay after the fender bender. Brother, that wasn't a fender bender, bro. That was a wreck. Straight up wreck. R-E-K. Wreck. Will Laverne. Feel like we will not get our OCDC till after the bowl game, but definitely before the next signing period. Absolutely. Definitely before the signing period. That's not even a question. The only thing that could potentially complicate that is if they hire Matt House for DC and the Chiefs make the Super Bowl, you could be in a little bit of a weird situation. There's only like a week between Super Bowl and early signing period. Let me see what that date is. So and remember, with 18 weeks in the season, Super Bowl's pushed back. So Super Bowl this year is February 13th. I think the February signing period is like the 16th. Oh no, National Signing Day. Is that right? February 2nd? It is February 2nd. So signing day is before the Super Bowl. Oh, God. So you could probably guess if, let's say they hire Matt House and the Chiefs make the Super Bowl. I think you make that announcement probably after the AFC Championship game because there's a week off between Championship game and Super Bowl. So you could make the announcement even though he wouldn't join you till after signing day. Ooh. Sam Dixon, refreshing to hear Walker Howard's dad welcoming the idea of redshirting next season. Don't hear that much involving a high caliber prospect. Jamie's been through it before. Quite an asset for Walker to have around. Absolutely. And that's it. Jamie knows. Jamie's like, I don't leave my 18-year-old son, you know, because like your freshman quarterback, it's just, there's going to be mistakes. You don't need him out there, you know, feeling the highs and the lows and getting booed. Well, I'm not saying booed. You know what I mean. Like, you play too early, it can wreck a player. I mean, we've seen that with guys before. Anyway. So yes, it's very smart to be willing to sit and wait. 90 watching there on YouTube, 25 likes. Do us a solid, please smash that like button. We appreciate it greatly. Facebook, like the page, share the post. We appreciate y'all, as always. Any idea where I can find Bullet, Single Barrel, and BTR? Calandros and Perkins doesn't have it needed for a gift. Bullet, Single Barrel. Just the orange label Bullet? They didn't have orange label Bullet? I mean, unless that's something else, I guess there's a single, I don't know. Maybe I don't know what Bullet Single Barrel is. I don't know if I've had Bullet Single Barrel. I mean, the orange label Bullet I've had, it's fine. It's fine bourbon. Father John David Mathern, good morning. Got my call from your Hudco rep. Gonna catch up next week. Cue the jingle. There we go. Look at this, man. All of our Hudco peeps getting taken care of.
Hudco Roofing! Hudco Roofing! When you
Reagan Lee, when can we expect to find out more about opt-outs and academic issues? Closer to the bowl game. Look, you found about Neil Farrell this week. Charlie Cavell, see where the OSU kid transferred to UF. I did. Ohio State quarterback is headed to Florida. Emory Jones had announced they need his kid's name's Miller, something like that. Kyle DeVille, what are your thoughts on Dallas going to the Super Bowl? I think offensively they've been putrid over the last month, and Dak has been really bad, some of the worst football of his career. He's going to have to play better if that's going to happen. Charlie, it's humorous to me that people/media continue to be shocked when some assistant isn't retained by Brian Kelly. It should be the other way around. Shocked when someone is retained. That's kind of true, Charlie. And what has complicated a little bit is the fact that everybody makes a bowl game, right? Because typically whenever you fire a coach and you replace his staff, you're not in a bowl game. But now that there's 42 bowl games and teams that are 6-6 and sometimes 5-7 getting bowl games, you're hanging around. You know, it wouldn't be a big surprise if they weren't preparing for a bowl game, but you have to have some staff in place to get this team ready for a bowl game. So, yes, I agree completely. Tony Williams, David Coslin, Glenda Blanchard, good morning, good morning, good morning. Todd Harris, Matt, haven't seen Walker play. He a pocket passer or dual threat? He's not the guy that's going to run for 1,000 yards in a season, but he has mobility to move the pocket, which I think is what you want. Someone who is a pro-style quarterback who can move. I think he's a good blend. Shelby Kelly, Tony Williams, hoping we would have gotten Jack Miller. Miller, that's it. That's the kid from Ohio State who's going to Florida. Rapid batches, how far do you think LSU women's basketball, how for real do you think LSU women's basketball is? Could they make a deep run? I would be totally fabricating an opinion. I have not watched them play. But I will. What I do know is, I know Kim Mulkey, and she said this on the record, was very intentional in putting together the schedule because she wanted this team to experience success. They've already won 10 games, which is more, they've won 11 games, excuse me, which is more than they won all of last year. So they've won more games now than they did all of last year, and conference play hasn't even started yet. So I think that was a big part of it. She wanted them to taste success and to feel what it was like to win. So like they beat Nichols and Florida Gulf Coast. I'm sorry, they lost to Florida Gulf Coast, but they beat Nichols, they beat ULL, they beat Tulane, New Mexico State, Missouri State. The big win, of course, was Iowa State, which was a ranked team. But Kim Mulkey knew them well, having been in the Big 12 for so long. Texas Southern, Alcorns, a couple of SWAC schools there. They beat Bradley. And then they beat Clemson and Texas Tech in the last 2 days. So, I mean, those are really nice wins. You know, going to that West Palm Beach Invitational and beating a couple of teams from Power 5 leagues. But the point is, they haven't really gone through this massive gauntlet. She set up the schedule to have them win games and taste success, which is very smart. So, you know, I don't know how deep they can go. I don't know how good the SEC is, but should this be a tournament team? Yes, which is a great step in year one. Wendell Norman, Matt, Eddie Warren Saints quarterback options for next year. I mean, I think we kind of know what they are, Wendell. If you can make a deal to sign one of the elite guys, if Rodgers or Russell Wilson, you do it. If you can make a deal to bring in Deshaun Watson, you do it. I don't know how likely those are. Your best option after that is very likely signing Jameis to another 1-year deal coming off the injury, or you draft a quarterback. The tough part about drafting a quarterback is you're probably not drafting high enough in this draft to get an elite quarterback, if there is an elite quarterback in this draft. And you just drafted Ian Book last year, so if you're looking for a project, you just used a pick last year on a project quarterback. So that wouldn't make a lot of sense either. Your best option is probably re-signing Jameis for another year. Scott Lumine, my wife wrecked her car in October. We're still waiting on parts. Ugh. Kyle Milliken, Matt, do you think AA Ron to the Saints is something that could really happen? Yeah. I mean, I've told y'all, look at his contract. He won't be back in Green Bay. That much I am certain. Like, it would take a miracle for Aaron Rodgers to be back in Green Bay. The way that they restructured his contract this year sets him up to where next year his cap hit in Green Bay would be $46 million. If Aaron Rodgers is on the Packers roster, his cap hit would be $46 million. For context, this year his cap hit is $27 million. So his cap number would go up by $20 million if he's on the roster next year. It ain't gonna happen. I mean, they set it up to where he will not be back next year. Hey, babe. So anyway, so he's got to go somewhere, and New Orleans would make a lot of sense. Can they put together a deal to make it happen? We'll see. It would be a combination of picks and players and all kinds of stuff, and I don't know if they could get it done. Eric Wilderod, morning, Matt. Listening to the segment yesterday on the high school kid with NIL. Do state regulations on high school NIL impact game coin? I don't understand what you mean. I don't understand. Like, GameCoin hasn't done any deals with high school players. I mean, could in those states where it was allowed. Let's see, some of the O-linemen LSU signed seemed a bit small. Bordelon is 6'5", 265. Happy for the kid, needs to be fun. Yeah, they signed Bo Bordelon knowing that he was a red shirt, project player. He's not a year one starter type guy. He's come in and red shirt, get bigger and better and all that sort of stuff. Josh Patu, imagine Saints offense with our healthy O-line, older Jameis, Kamara, / only Taysom Hill, can't guard Mike, Deontay Harris, and a first-round wide receiver. Get a veteran tight end, retain Marcus Williams at safety, scare it. Yeah, I mean, all the pieces are there. Got to be healthy. Need some depth. Yeah. Pat Usman, Idaho. Look at the I thought it was an L. Idaho. Very good. Ida, Heaux. All right, y'all. We're just about done. For John David Mathern saw Walker play E.D. White in the playoffs. He's legit. Definitely needs to put some weight on. He will. McManus from Milazzo, who's the star behind the dish. I think McManus Shelby didn't catch much last year at South Alabama. I think he was just more of a DH. So I think you actually would have to look at maybe some of the incoming guys that could potentially take that role. Word is 3 firsts and a player for Russ. Seems steep for the Saints right now. Thoughts? Depends who the players are, Shelby. I mean, that's what the Rams gave to get Stafford. They gave up 3 1s and Jared Goff to get Stafford. So that's where you're hearing the 3 1s and a player, because that's basically the market that the Rams and Lions set last year. So would you give up 3 1s and Michael Thomas, 3 1s in Kamara, 3 1s in Lattimore, 3 1s in Ramchick? I mean, you'd have to give up a starting caliber player. Would you do that? Good question. For Russell Wilson, yeah, Wilson or Rodgers, I'd do it, yeah. Okay, y'all, I think we're just about done. As always, shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. LA Mom 2020. Matt, what's your morning scone schedule for the holidays? What days do you plan to be on? Every day, LA Mom 2020. This is episode 1369, and we started this 1369 days ago. I did not missed a day. We have not missed a holiday, Christmas, New Year's, Easter, Halloween, game days, birthdays, vacations. We've never missed a day. I've done this show from airports, from vacation spots, from pre-op when I was having my knee surgery. Where else have we done this show? Hotels, all over the place. So we will. That's one constant. Death, taxes, morning scone. We will be here every day, every single day. Some days I'm in a different location. Some days I have less time. Some days I'm a little later than I normally am. But we're here every day. So set the notifications. If you're on YouTube, hit the bell. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell. So when I go live, you'll get notified. Okay. Y'all have an awesome day. And we'll see you. Peace. Hudco. Brock. Hudco Brock.